Hey, I'm Sudarami, and if you're anything like me, you'll either love or hate the new DeadLock rank changes. Now you might be asking, Sudarami, there's a new DeadLock rank change? Yes. So instead of telling you, I think I'll just show you. As we look here in the hideout, there's a new little area, rank, the leaderboard. It shows you what rank you are, if you can play ranked. Let's go up to it, activate it. And now we're in the rank tab. It'll show you your eligibility if you're able to play ranked. Currently I'm not, but I just need 10 more wins across 2 characters. I'll get there eventually. I'm not that worried. And then you'll see all the ranks, which there are 2 new ranks. Sentinel, which replaces Alchemist, and Mystic, which replaces Arcanist. And there are some design changes to the ranks. I'm not sure I like really any of them, to be honest. But, you know, I'm glad we got ranked actually in the game now. So if we scroll down here to the eligibility tab, you can see your requirements, what it takes to play ranked, and then it tells you how you can queue. And in this update, they changed it. Players are only allowed to queue up for ranked as a solo or a duo, meaning there's no more 3-player parties, 4-player, 5-player, 6-player, only you and your boyfriend or girlfriend. Duo parties must be within 1 rank up or down from each other. So no more wide queuing. You can't play with an initiate if you're Eternus. That's good in my opinion, but unfortunately all of my friends are different ranks. Quite literally, I have an Eternus friend and I have initiate friends. So this kind of sucks in that regard, but hopefully down the line they'll change it so that you can at least queue with more friends. I don't think they'll change the 1 rank from each other. Eternus players can only queue with other Eternus players who are within 3 sub-ranks of each other, meaning you, if you're in Eternus 1, cannot play with someone that's Eternus 4 and up. That one's kind of weird, but I guess that in Eternus there might be that big of a skill difference. I have no clue. I haven't been in Eternus. Below that, you must complete 8 solo calibration games. The max rank you can exit calibration with is Oracle 6. This means when you're doing the matches, in order to actually get your rank and get out of Obscurus, you have to solo queue. This I do not like. I get it. You could rank with someone that's an Eternus 6 as an initiate and then get ranked potentially higher because you won all the games, but that's just going to be boring. You have to spend close to like 6 hours, maybe 7, to actually get your rank. I don't like that, but I guess it's a better system to show where you really are in rank. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to play with any of my friends, but whatever. We scroll down a little bit more to leveling up. This explains how you are going to rank up. Each win-loss will grant you plus minus 250 points on average. These numbers may vary slightly depending on the expectations the matchmaker had from that game or from win streaks. You will see your rank points update with a visible progress bar after each match. So essentially, you're just going to get roughly 250 points or lose 250 points if you lose. When you are promoted to a new rank or sub-rank, you earn emotion protection tokens. For full badge rank ups, you earn 5 tokens, and for each sub-rank you earn 2. Meaning, if I go from initiate to whatever the new one is, or if I go from initiate to seeker, I'll get 5 rank protection tokens. And if I go from seeker 1 to seeker 2, I'll get 2. I don't know if they stack. It would be kind of weird if you just won all of your games in a row and get like 30, you get like 100 rank protection tokens. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's just, I don't know what I'm going to cut out there, but I'm just going to keep reading because it explains it. If you lose while the emotion protection is active and you would have gone down a rank, you instead stay the same rank and a token is consumed. So that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're about to lose a rank because you just lost a match, instead that token that you earned from getting to that rank is now used instead. And once you're out of those tokens, you will start to derank. To advance from one sub-rank to the next, you need to earn 1,000 rank points, which if we're assuming that roughly you'll get 250 points every game, that means you have to play 4 games to get 1 rank division. I think that's a little extreme, but the system I believe is in play so that players that are the rank they should be stay in the rank they should be, if that makes sense. To advance between a full badge rank to the next, you will need to earn 2,000 rank points. So the example here is if you're Mystic 6 and you want to rank into Ritualist 1, you need 2,000 rank points. In total, that means you need 7,000 rank points to get from from Mystic 1 to Ritualist 1. That's kind of insane, but it makes the rank grind a little more realistic for your skill standards, and keeping people in their ranks, of course. At the highest rank, the rules change slightly. You still gain or lose rank points the same as before, but the sub-ranks are no longer fixed point amounts. Instead, once a day, sub-ranks are assigned according to the percentiles of players within the Eternus rank. This kind of just means if you're an Eternus, you won't gain points similar to the other ranks. It'll be different depending on how many players are in your sub-rank division. Pre-game waiting area. Once you enter a new ranked match, you will see a breakdown of the ranks of all players in the game. You will then enter a pre-game waiting area. That means once you queue into a ranked match and actually get into the match, there's going to be a pre-game. You can see the rank of each player in the match. I think that's pretty cool, but if I see that my team is much worse than the enemy's team, I'm gonna crash out. Anyways, you can choose to change your hero to improve your team composition or swap lanes with allies. So because there's a pre-game now, you can strategize with your team by changing the character that you're playing after seeing the rank, after seeing your team comp. I don't know if you get to see the enemy's team comp and their changes. We'll have to see, but that is pretty cool. Instead of getting a random character out of your selections, you get to choose between whoever depending on your comp's need. And I think this means we won't have to use pauses the first 2 seconds on the zip line every single time to switch lanes. You can decide what lane you want to go on before the game actually starts. I think that's a good change. And then you can see here, we have 3 tabs in here. Overview, which was the one I just showed you, matches, which will show you match history, and then heroes, which will show your heroes and all your wins on them. I'll be honest, I've pretty much only played Mina in standard. I played a good bit of Hayes, a good bit of Yamato. Other than that, I haven't played too many other characters. So, like we see here on the left side, I need 5 more wins with Hayes and 5 more wins with Yamato in order to unlock ranked, which I'll probably try to do soon, maybe. And now we're gonna look into the actual patch notes to see if I missed anything. So as we see right off the bat, ranked mode has seasons, with the first season starting today and ending on October 7th, after which the following season will begin. At the conclusion of a season, the highest rank you achieved will be permanently saved in your rank history page. Future rank seasons will likely have longer duration with splits in between, breaks within the season where rank adjustments are made. The way I'm thinking of that, what that means, the splits, is like Apex. Apex has like one half of the season where you can earn your rank, and then it has another half of the season where I believe it resets your rank or knocks you down. Like let's say you're Predator, you go back down to Plat, and then you have to climb up the rank again. I believe that is what it's saying, as well as recency requirements on the heroes played. Now, I'm not sure what that last bit means. I hope that doesn't mean every split you're gonna have to win another 45 games. I think that would be really unreasonable, and I can't see them doing that. But maybe it'll be like you have to win 5 games on Mina, 5 games on Hayes, 5 games on Yamato in order to play ranked again. I think that would be pretty stupid, but hopefully I'm just getting this all mixed up and I'm overthinking it. As the season starts, everyone will enter a calibration phase for 8 games, which we read that earlier. In order to get your rank, you need to play 8 games in the calibration phase, and then you'll get your rank. All players will have a soft reset of their prior rank, maintaining some history of your previous performance relative to other players to help seed you initially into calibration games. Players can only exit calibration at a max rank of Oracle 6. You cannot be in a party during calibration matches. I read this earlier. Ranked mode will currently only allow for solo or duo parties. If you are in a duo party, both players must be at least 1 rank away from each other. However, Eternus players can only queue with another Eternus player within 3 sub-ranks of each other. We recognize that the party size and rank spread limits might be too restrictive, but we wanted to stay off this way and then adjust in the future as needed. So, like I said, this is going to be a little test. Hopefully this won't stay. I can't imagine they would, due to how big their player base and how important it is if you have a big friend group play with them, especially in a game like this. DeadLock is a really fun game to play with your friends. Entering a match and hero selection. We think the ability to queue with a very specific hero in mind is an important and popular feature with most players, even more so in rank, where it is critical that everyone has a good understanding of how to pilot their selected hero. By having hero selections done in advance of the game formation, we are able to utilize the matchmaker on the back end to mix and match players from the larger queue to meet everyone's preferences such that players are able to get the hero they want, while also allowing us the ability to create a reasonable team composition. As part of this update, we've done some improvements on the matchmaker's ability to create solid team composition. This is also something we expect to improve over time. That's good and maybe bad, because that could mean your queue times are going to be longer, but you'll match into a better team as the characters that you choose to queue in with. I like it, but I hope my matchmaking times don't go from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, you know? That's one caveat I have about that. As the player pool grows and as more heroes are released, the matchmaker will have more opportunities to create balanced matches with good team compositions while also increasing the chance you get the hero in your highest priority. However, we also recognize that even long term, the matchmaker won't always be able to do a great job at this, depending on who is in the queue at the specific time, especially at ranks or regions where the queue is much thinner. As such, with this ranked update, we are introducing the ability to change a hero in the new pregame phase. So, like I said, you'll choose characters to queue in, and then when you get into the match with the players around your rank level, you'll be able to change your character if needed in the pregame phase. That's really nice, really good. It's just going to be a little unfortunate if you don't get the exact character you want to play. Like, let's say I want to play Calico instead of playing Mina, but I would be better off playing Calico in that situation, if that makes sense. Anyways, once you enter a new ranked match, you will see a breakdown of the ranks of all players in the game. You will then enter a pregame waiting area where you can control your hero. During this time, you can choose to change your given hero to any other hero that hasn't been selected. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I thought initially you would have to queue into it like how it was before when you selected your 3, 4, 5 heroes or however many heroes you wanted to possibly get, but now you'll queue in as a selected hero, but if you need to change, you can change to any hero you want. That's cool, but I just hope it doesn't get to the point where it's like Overwatch and you just counter and counter and counter. You can only change a character once, but it would be pretty annoying if the enemy team sees that you're playing on a character that's really easily counterable and they swap to that. The primary purpose of this is to allow players a quick way to adjust their team's hero composition to make any improvements they see fit. This is not intended to be primarily a counter picking feature as much as just a quick way to improve your team's general hero composition, while still making it easy for players to have their preferred and most comfortable heroes in ranked by default. As such, there isn't a live update of what heroes the enemy team is changing into. You will only see their initial hero composition. Okay, I like that. I brought that up a little bit earlier, how I hope you can't see what they're changing into, but if DeadLock's player base is anything like Overwatch's player base, you might see a lot more counter picking. I hope not, but it's just the way competitive games go. If you end up swapping into a hero that the enemy team happened to also swap into before you, you'll get an error and then be able to select a different hero. Otherwise, you will be given that hero. Each player can only swap into a new hero once. Okay, that's pretty good, because I thought before reading the end there that you could just swap into any hero and try to figure out what the enemy team swapped into, but no. The case is you can only choose one other character and then you can't choose another character after that. That's good. I like that. You can also use the new pregame waiting area to adjust your starting lanes. You won't be able to zipline swap after this. Pause will be disabled until 2 minutes after the game fully starts. So make sure to do any adjustments you want to either your roster or lanes during the new pregame wait area. So that means there's no longer the ability to switch lanes while you're on the zip line. You have to do that pre-game, and you can't pause within the first 2 minutes of the match. I like that, but in all honesty, it was a really nice feature to have when you were doing something while waiting for your 20-minute queue. I like it though. It's gonna speed up the flow of the game. I just hope those queue times aren't gonna be that bad. Additionally, in ranked mode, the total number of heroes banned in a given game is increased from 2 to 3, and the algorithm used has been improved. So now 3 characters are gonna get banned instead of 2. I don't know how they quote-unquote improved it, but we'll be able to see that when we actually get into games. Abandons and penalties. You cannot queue for ranked if you have any active sanctions on your account. Low priority, comms banned, etc. Oh no, I get banned in comms a lot, but that's a good thing. You know, you can't queue with someone that's actively trying to throw or just an unsportsmanlike player for the most part. If a player abandons a game 5 minutes before, the game will be marked as safe to leave and voided for all players except the leaver and their party. The game will now count as a loss for the leaver and their party. The game will count as a loss for the leaver and their party, and the abandoning player will receive leaver penalties. So that means if someone on your team rage quits within the first 5 minutes, you can leave that game without any repercussions. You won't lose rank and you won't get an abandon penalty, but they will and their party will, or at least their party will receive the loss, but the party won't receive the abandon penalty, only the player that left. If a player abandons a game after 5 minutes, that player will receive leaver penalties and their party will have the game count as a loss. Other players on the abandoning players team will have their game voided and are safe to leave without punishments. However, if they stay and win, the game will be counted as a win. If all players on the abandoning team leave, the game will automatically end and be counted as a win for the opposing team. I'm a little worried about that because if you have a bunch of people loading into games, leaving, and the other team automatically gets the win because the rest of the team doesn't want to play that could mean some players will be higher in rank than they should be, but because of the penalties for leaving, potentially that won't be so bad. I just hope it's not going to get to the point where people win trade, to get higher ranks. Leaver penalties start with queue timeouts and escalate to increasing amounts of low priority games. If you're on the opposing non-abandoning team, you will play the game out as a normal. However, if a player on that team then abandons as well, they will be penalized just like the first abandoning player / party. And the above rules kicks in for the opposing team now as well. In this case, none of the remaining players on either team will have the games count as a loss, and you will only get a win if your team finishes and wins the game. Leaver penalties start with queue timeouts and escalate to increasing amounts of low priority games. So that means if you leave, you'll start with just getting the little timeouts, you'll have to wait in order to queue again, and then it'll turn into you'll get longer queue times and potentially worse matchmaking for you leaderboard. This update includes a few changes to the requirements to appear on the leaderboards. For the global leaderboard, the game count requirement in the last 30 days has been increased from 50 to 75. For the hero specific leaderboards, the game count requirement on that hero in the last 30 days has been increased from 20 to 30. There is also a new requirement for hero specific leaderboards where you must have at least 100 lifetime wins on that hero to be considered. If you care about leaderboard, there you go. Essentially all of the requirements have just been upped by a decent amount. Rollout. This new system is live right now. However, we expect the next week or so to be very rocky, as the ranked matchmaking pool will start off very thin with most players not having the unlock requirements done yet. This will have a significant effect on queue times and match quality until things stabilize. It will also take some time for players to calibrate and move into the appropriate spots. We will be closely monitoring the matchmaker during this time, but we want some players to be aware that both queue times, match quality, and team composition quality will need some time to ramp up, given the large rewrite involved with this update. We are also expecting that it will take a couple of days to iron out bugs. This is kind of their way of explaining to players that the new rank system will be really bad to start out with, because there might not be a lot of players in the queue to start. There might not be a lot of players in the matchmaking queue because of the requirements to get into ranked, and B, their system to matchmake you with the right composition and the right players is going to be a lot harder due to the thin level of players currently in the matchmaking queue. As more players get into the queue, hopefully it'll get better. But for now, it just means you're probably going to get really bad matches and the queue times will be really long. That kind of sucks. Hopefully that'll change within the next week or two. Okay, well, I can't queue into ranked, but I can show you that there is the ranked tab now. So go Street Brawl, Standard, and then Ranked. You can click here on the Ranked to see what you need in order to play. So like I said, I just need to get 5 more wins on Yamato and Haze, or just get 15 more wins on 2 other characters. I'm going to work on that eventually. I kind of wish you could do Street Brawl matches, but that would be kind of cheating, and maybe you wouldn't learn the game as well. Anyways, I think that's pretty much where I'm going to end it, because I can't get into ranked and this video is going to be really long. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, and I hope I'll get a ranked video out soon. Maybe I'll stream and record the matches, my calibration matches, into ranked, and hopefully I don't get initiate. But anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and God bless.